Alright everyone, today we're going to try to make a form with HTML and CSS. This is what your end product could end up looking like. Yours might be different. Let's see how we got here. Let me zoom in a little bit on this. Alright. So here we've got a form. I've got an H1. I've got a nice form over here with a place where you can put in someone's name, an email, and they can write a message, and there's a button they can click to send your message. And you notice that the name, the email address, they're red. So we type in a name, Dave McLean, right? Now it goes green. I type in an email address. Ta-da! Wait, please include it. So we actually have to fill out a correct email address. Let's put in my email address. Probably hear my son in the background, that's okay. Send your message. Now, the thing doesn't actually work, right? But let's go to the refresh here. But we could, potentially make it work. So this is is a valid form as far as the HTML and the CSS goes. Let's take a look at how we got here. Sample form 2, we'll call this one. Alright, so in the instructions, let's go to the top of the instructions here. And we're going to make a form. And I gave you some CSS that you can use to get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is copy that CSS. I don't need this, and close this. Copy that. Paste it here. I'm gonna go over here. All right. First I'm gonna do is label my form. Make an H1. Contact me. We'll call it. You see our form is styled a little bit. Let's actually center my H1. Text. Align. Center. There we go. Now it's centered. And now let's make our actual form. So let's use the form tag. Alright, that's always the first thing you're going to do when you make a form. Now, inside this form, we're going to set up our different inputs to different inside different divs. So let's make a div. Let's close that div. And inside that div, we are going to make a label and an input type, and they're both going to be like text areas over here. So label for equals name, and then that's it. Put in the word name here inside slash label. So now we've got our first label. And then we're going to have our input type. Text. You can see our box pops up. And we have to give it an ID, right? A name and a name, right? ID equals name. And the name of it is username. Alright, there's no opening and closing for the input types. Let's just leave it like that. Alright. Let's just copy this. Let's make another one. Let's make another one because we're going to have 3 things, right? The next one, though, is not going to be name. It's going to be for email. Email. Change this to e-mail. There we go. And type is going to be email type. ID is going to be email, if I remember correctly. And the name is going to be user email. Let's make sure I got that right. Yep. All right. Email, email, user email. All right. The last one. Sure our divs are nice and lined up correctly. It's going to be for the contact me area over here. It's not going to be so. It's for the message. Whoops. All right. Message. And this is just going to be text area instead of an input type. Text area, right? ID. Equals message. And what else? Name is user message. And then over here we have slash text area. So text area does have opening and closing stuff. You see that div in the form goes away now. All right, so now we've got our name, email, and message boxes. They're all there. Now we have to style the actual form. All right, this is our end product so far. Our end product, or our product so far. Now we're going to style it. So let's go to the form. Let's go to our CSS over here. Put in the form. Let's style it. Let's make it look pretty. Background dash color. Make it white. Let me see. Let's change the margin to. Let's center it. Auto. No margin. Make it. Give it a width of 400 pixels, right? 400? 400, all right. Give it a little bit of padding. And what else? A border. 2 pixels. Solid. And give it like this blue color. 2E347B. Great. And is there anything else? Oh, let's give it rounded corners. Border dash radius 4 pixels. You can see the corners over here are rounded. You could change this to different, like 25 pixels if you want, more rounded, whatever it is you like. All right, that's too much. Let's make it, I don't know, 10. That's fine. All right. There we go. Now we're going to change the actual, the input types. We'll style those. I'm not going to change it. I mean, they'll still be input types, but we're going to make them look prettier. Alright, let's go to the label here. Let's style the label first. We give it a font weight of 600. I can type. Just makes it bold, is it? Color, we'll also make it a blue color. 2E, oops, gotta put in the hashtag in front of it. 2E347B. And what else? Vertical line top. So you see how the message that's at the bottom over here, we're gonna make that go to the top. Vertical dash align top. And text transform, I'm going to make it uppercase. There we go. Looks nice. Alright, now I'm going to mess around with our inputs. Input. Alright, we've got our height. 24 pixels. A little more space there. Font size 14 pixels. And the width 100%, so the whole width of our form here. Oops, 1005, 100%. There we go. You see over here the box for our inputs for name and email. They take up the whole width of our form. We'll do the same thing for text area. Just the width is 100%. Cool beans. Alright. I think next we have to add in like a submit button. Yeah, so I put in a submit button. So inside the form, div, we're gonna make it a button. Let's see, what do we have to put inside of it? Button type is submit. Is there anything else we have to do to it? Nope, that is it. Send your message / button. That's it. Ooh, excuse me. Excuse me. Achoo. Now I want to make the name required, so they have to put it in. Required. So they can't fill out the form without filling it in. So if I send your message, right, it says, please fill out this field. So if I don't do that, you can still fill it out. Achoo. If I leave it off, it'll still go through, right? Let's do the same thing for email. You have to put in the email address, otherwise how can we contact you back? Alright, save. Now we're gonna make it so that we know that the user will know if they're putting in correct information or not. Like, say for example, we put in, put in Dave, right? And we put in, gmail.com. That's our email address. What? That's not a correct email address. The message is, hello. Please indicate an @ in the email address, right? So the email thing is automatically will validate if it's a correct email or not. So what the require does is they have to fill that out in order for it to be able to submit the form. Otherwise, it won't work. So technically, if I don't put the required inside the email thing, you could still submit the form without the email address in there. But if you put in an incorrect email address, it wouldn't work. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and put in invalid and valid pseudo classes on our inputs so that we know if our stuff is correct or incorrect. So input, invalid, border 2 pixels, solid red. So if it's invalid, then it turns up red, right? Input :valid border 2 pixels, solid green. So if I type in a name, right, Dave or whatever it is, now you see the border turns green. If I type in an email address, let's put in like just gmail.com, right? It's still red. But if I type in, Dave@gmail.com, now it's green, so we know our data is good. And hello. Send your message. Again, it doesn't actually work, but you could potentially make it work. There we go. So now we've got our form over here. Now there's other things that we could do with this. For example, we could put in some filler data and that kind of stuff. So we learned about that last time. Let's see if we can do that real quick. Right. Sample. Oops. Text HTML form. Input placeholder. All right. So you put in some placeholder text over here. Do the try it yourself thing over here. Oh. So what I like that they did over here, they have the format over here, so they kind of give it like a little format. It's nice. All right. So it's over here for the email address, right? Let's do placeholder equals name at server.com. And once we type it in, like I said, that's how that text goes away. We do the same thing for here. All right, so we'll do placeholder equals first name, last name. Whoops. You can even put in some placeholder text in the text area if you want. Let me know what you're thinking. That's pretty cool. I like that. Let's make my H1 a different color. Color red. Nice and red, nice and bold, right? Let's make it that is fine. Yeah, that's good. Well, let's just make it with red. Contact me. There we go. There are other things we can do that we learned about with forms, but that's good enough for right now. All right. So we're gonna save our work. You're going to share it, copy the link, you go back to the assignment, and you're going to turn that in. So I hope that helps you out. Alright, I will see you guys in class.